I did see that. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Money Pod Podcast. And the day is almost here, and I'm talking about the biggest betting day of the year. We're your guide, we're your leaders. We are Money Pot. Let's go. We don't I want to welcome everybody back to another episode of the Money Pop Podcast. I am him. I am your host. I am your CEO. I am Moss Money. And I got my Goonies with me, my boys who don't stop gambling. Keep it going each and every week. Keep betting. Keep winning. That's the type of guys I like to have around me. Of course, I got my guy, best live better I know. B Diddy, what's up, bro?
Bird gang.
That's our bird game. That's what we got.
That's it. Flying any weather, baby.
Right, right. And of course, you always need one of these in your back pocket from out there. The king of Tulsa, C Sharp. What's up, bro?
What's going on, fellas? As the Kelsey boys like to say, I guess we're a bunch of jabronis.
Yeah. About to talk some money, about to talk some units. We're going to get right into it. But first, I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining as always. I know this last week or two has been insane and crazy in terms of what you're seeing from just media and bets and volume of what to do, what not to do. You're probably getting a little bit close if you haven't pulled the trigger on some or other things. But we are here just to guide you through all that muck, all that murk, give you the best picks that we are looking at right now and that we feel have the best chance of hitting. That's what it's all about. It's all about you guys coming to us, looking for us for that advice, that expert analysis to give you bets, and then tell you and say it to you in a way which is very easy to understand and not giving you all this jargon and this and that and these odds makers and this and that. Just give me the bet. That's what they say. Stop with all the talking and just give me the bet. This is what you're betting, and this is why. So I don't want to hold it up any longer. Let's give him the bet. I got a best bet coming up right now. Let's
Moneypot's best bets.
like that. Just a little drop right there. Made that myself, B Diddy. How about that? All right. First best bet that I got on the docket was something that me and Sharp had looked at earlier. Using FanDuel. The line is changed. I'll bring up the sports book here shortly. But I'm going with team total over. I got it at 24.5 for the Philadelphia Eagles. That has now jumped up to 26.5, if I'm not mistaken. But I will actually no, I don't want to use FanDuel today. I actually want to use DraftKings because they got more player props than FanDuel did when I saw it. So
Yeah, for those out there listening, I think DraftKings, this is their day to shine. They're the best in the world at props, whether it's goofy props, player props, alt spread props. They're the fastest one to come out with props on a week-to-week basis. This is their time to shine. They're known for their props.
absolutely, absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So I got that earlier on. That was one of my first bets. It was actually no, it was the first bet I made when I saw it. And I'm gonna bring up the book right now and show you guys what it is right now. Like I said, I believe it's at 26.5 last time I checked, but I will get that up for you. So for myself, for me, that is my ultimate best bet. That is where I'm putting, or I have put the most money for this game so far. B Diddy, tell me what you got so far.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna try to stay in the plus side of this. Um, Jalen Hurts scored a touchdown. I
Like it,
think that's my
like it.
best play here. I mean, obviously we can go and get little, get basic with the team or the total. I'm sorry, the side of the total, but I think here with Jalen Hurts, I think really, tell you the truth, the motivation behind this and getting him in the end zone to flex and
Man,
dance and open up his chest a little bit in the Super Bowl is a must at this point. The disrespect that he has
talk to
received
him.
year in and year out, and then to
Talk
top it
to him.
off last night and receiving and coming up empty-handed last night.
Not one Eagle, not the ball boy, not a coach, not the bus driver, not an executive. not the quarterback. Not one Eagle received one award. That was insane to me. Never seen that
Insane.
before ever.
Insane. So give me Jalen Hurts. I think they're going to make a point to make sure they call some plays for him to get in the end zone, just so he kind of let us know that I'm here. And I think he's going to have plenty of opportunity to do that against this defense. So that's my best play. I believe you can get on the plus side of that too with Jalen Hurts to score. So you might even
Yeah.
want to sprinkle a little something on the first touchdown score because I feel like the Eagles will score first.
hmm
There's a couple little small plays you can put on to kind of make that work. But he will
Yeah,
get
no,
in.
I think and I think Sharp is great at this because he reminds us all the time, shop around, right? And when we say shop around, look at different sports books, and even ones that you haven't even signed up for. Get those promotions, get those free money, get those free dollars. So when you can put in, a bet, you can kind of protect yourself. But on DraftKings, it is minus 115. I do think FanDuel it is plus 105. I
Yeah,
saw.
shop around. This is a great time for new bettors for sure. The promos this week will be outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. So I completely agree. I love this bet. We all have seen him knowing that, the shoulder's good, the shoulder's not good. They've been running the ball and he's been a part of that and he gets in the end zone. I think what was he? Did he have double digit? I think he had double. Did he have double digit touchdowns this year? I forget.
Who? Jalen?
Hurt. Yeah. Did he
Yeah,
have?
he's fourth in the league in rushing touchdowns at 15, I
Yeah.
believe. 15 or
Yeah.
13 or
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I like this bet as well. I think this is a good bet, and I'll be tagging along with you on this one. Sharp, man, what you got?
So, man, I'm just kind of a man on my prediction. I've run this game through kind of. I have my own ways of looking at tape and how I kind of run through simulations in games of how I could see it going both ways. And I just don't see this coming out as a 3-point game for either team. So whether you like the Chiefs or you like the Eagles, I would take alt spread here. And in my case, I like the Eagles 29-23. So give me Philadelphia minus 5.5 at plus
Hey,
162.
you said what's the score?
29-23. Win by
Sharp.
6. They cover 5.5.
Sharp, how do we get to 29?
There's just going to be goofy point. There'll be 2-point conversion, maybe a trick play. You know how the Eagles do? They love going for 2. The Buckers missed extra points. Jake Elliott's missed an extra point in the Super Bowl before. Nerves get to people. 29-23. Eagles cover 5.5 alt spread.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that alt spread, and I will see where that
Plus 162.
plus 162.
That's the best you can find, which is DraftKings.
And
Is
look
that
at 29.
And if you and like you said, if you like if you like the Chiefs, like if you like alt spread, and you think the Chiefs are going to win. There's some juicy Chiefs, like Chiefs minus 5.5 plus 195. So
Yeah, there it is, 195. So my man Sharp said plus minus 5.5.
minus 5.5 plus 162. Eagles are going to win by 6.
Well, if you like 29-23, that's going to be some good money on the plus side to get that exact score. So you might want to sprinkle a little something on that. That's just a really odd score.
Yeah, and I just think the 29-23 thing, just my score prediction, but I just think they're going to cover 6. I honestly think how I feel this game's going to go. I think the Eagles are going to want to defer. You know how I am about game theory, game flow. I actually think this is the one time all year the Eagles are not going to want to receive the kickoff. Hurts might be a little more nervous. I know the Chiefs are going to want the ball because they want to get out early. They do not want to be chasing the Eagles because that's when the pass rush comes. So I think both ways shape up for the Chiefs getting the ball. I think the Eagles' perfect scenario, give the ball to the Chiefs, force them to not score, give the ball back, and then that game flows right how the Eagles won. So, in that scenario.
So I do disagree with you.
Okay.
Sharp. I think the Eagles, if they win the toss, they will receive the ball. I think they want to set the tone.
I was going to ask you guys that after we.
Yeah,
we go
I
through the
think
best.
I think if the Eagles receive the ball, I think although you should defer, I think in this scenario, the way the Eagles have been in the playoffs, they've had great first drives. So I think they want to
because they're at home. Because they're at home, and that's different. They wanted the ball at home, get the crowd rocking. This is neutral field. I just have a feeling. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that Nick Sirianni wants to put the ball into Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' hands and say, "You guys go first." They're going to rely on our defense, maybe even force them to 3. I feel like they'll think letting Kansas City go down and holding them to 3 is a win because we're really good off scripted drives. So I just feel like Sirianni's going to have a lot of confidence. If he can hold the Chiefs to less than 7 on that first drive, he's going to think we got this.
Okay.
Because they love to run the second half.
So
The way I look at Andy Reid and Mahomes is they always clip people in the second half, right? That's what they're known for. So what do you want to do? You want to give them one less possession in the second half. Usually everyone wants the ball, get out in front, make Kansas City chase you. Well, that just gives you one extra possession that Kansas City gets to where they get it going at halftime. They see what your defense is doing. Then they figure out what they want to do. I would do the total opposite. I would give them the ball first, let them burn through their scripted drive. And then second half, I want that extra possession to lean on them and run.
I just think history is going to play the same role. I think that it's just a small thing. I just think the history is going to play in a role. Last time we was in the Super Bowl, we received the ball, we went down and scored in the drive 3 points. I think we're just one of them teams that we want to kind of set the tone, let them know that hey, and I think because we have a good defense, they're okay if we don't score. We'll be able to at least get another 3 and out, maybe a punt and a second drive for Mahomes regardless. But I think they want to kind of get on the board first. That's why I do feel like the Philadelphia Eagles will score first also. Just my thing.
I like the Chiefs to score first. I get you. I like the Chiefs to score first. I like the Chiefs to have the lead late. I think it's going to be 23-22, and then Devontae Smith cooks them. They're going to get caught in a blitz. Devontae Smith one-on-one, night.
Sure. You all over the place, my man.
No, I'm telling you.
We're going to be down. What is it? But down what?
We're going to be down 23-22 late in the fourth quarter, and we're going to score maybe with under a minute left.
And you pressing up against your win by 6. You really pressing against your own bets, man. I don't know, Sharp. I don't know. You gave me 29-23.
Well, notice what I'm doing. All my bets are plus. You're not going to see me take anything negative because, like I told Moss, I mean, I have the Eagles ticket preseason 25-1. I've already hedged out of that, so I'm not touching this game in terms of who I think wins. Other than if I do, like I said, if you like the Chiefs, I would take Chiefs on an alt spread. Whatever I would do, I'm not taking anything that has negative juice in this game. Nothing I would touch has negative juice.
Okay. All right. Any other plays that are going to be heavy? So these right here, you guys see, are our heavy plays. B Diddy's got Hurts scoring anytime touchdown. Shop around for this one. This is a little bit high on the DraftKings sides. Sharp has a nice little interesting side here. Alternate spread -5.5 plus 162 on the Eagles. And I got this earlier, but it is right now. It's 2 points higher than when I got it. I got it at 24.5. Right now it's 26.5 at -105. Anything else on any type of heavy plays, R3, R4, R5 unit plays where we're putting a good percentage of the bankroll down? Anything else you guys say? Or no?
I would, even though it's climbed up in both instances, I still think there's good value in taking a two-way parlay of Philadelphia Eagles team total over and the game over.
Yeah, the game over has been tricking up. It's at 51. I'm assuming it's at 50.
I think you can get 50.5 at some spots. I still have seen a couple 50.5s.
Yeah. So what's up, Don? So yeah, I completely I agree with that one as well. I think some of these anytime touchdown scores and money lines makes a lot of sense too. Obviously, I would assume that we're all on the birds, and we'll get to that in a little bit here. But this Jalen Hurts to score anytime and Eagles to win at plus at almost 2-1, pretty much 2-1. Diddy, that looks like a good bet.
Looks good. Looks good to me. I also like another play that I have. Is both teams to score 20 or more. So I like that. I think you get that on the plus side also.
Okay.
That's a great bet. I like that.
I got to see if I can find that one. It's going to be in here somewhere, and I'll put it up. But okay. So those are our best bets. So we wanted to get that out the way, get you what you wanted to know right from jump. Don't kind of egg you along and then give you like best bets at the end, even though that's the way and all the algorithm, all that jazz. But we wanted to get those out for you quickly. All right. So let's talk about we all have our best bets. Now let's talk about where we feel the matchups are in this game, right? And who has the advantage on the matchups and really just breaking this game down to X's and O's. For me, obviously, it's easy to say that the Eagles are good on paper, but the Chiefs are here for a reason, right? The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl and they had a gauntlet of a playoff to get here. Buffalo, Cincy, Mahomes hurt, their whole team kind of banged up, getting here. We could talk about the shoulda, woulda, couldas. Um, you know, I'm sorry, not Buffalo, Jacksonville and Cincinnati. We could talk about the shoulda, woulda, couldas. They could have lost to Jacksonville. It don't matter. They're here, and they have the reigning MVP, as their quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame tight end, and they got some players on there. But to me, it's going to be. We talk about this all the time. What is the keys to winning in the playoffs? What are the keys in winning? Running deep is being able to effectively run the ball and play defense. And the Kansas City Chiefs can't do that efficiently enough to beat what I consider the best Eagles teams I've ever seen put together. Right? Win, lose, or draw, that Eagles team over there, when they win, they will become legendary. But even if we take that, that shard back or take that crown back, this team is the best team in franchise history that they've ever put together, in my opinion. So I think that's going to be really hard for them to overcome with just Kelsey, with just Travis, Kelsey, and Mahomes. So I think the game is going to be won because we're going to do what we've always done in the playoffs and we've been doing the last two games. We're going to be able to run the ball. We're going to win the run of the ball, and we're going to play great defense behind it. And I think that's the biggest matchup for me. We could talk about, a lot of different stuff, but for me, who can run the ball and play defense is going to win this game. Sharp, what's up, man? What you think?
I think it's going to be the exact opposite of what a lot of people are going to think. I think a lot of people are going to think this is going to come down to third down, and I think this game is going to come down to first down. I think whichever team can execute on first down more successfully in terms of whether it's establish the run, like line up, we're getting 5 yards, and you're not going to stop us, or sneaky play calls, opportunistic screens, opportunistic play action passes. First down is one of those things where you can catch a team in base early in a big game just wanting to see what the offense does. And if you can catch them in a bad series and keep them on with tempo, first down becomes huge. So I think Mahomes and Reed know that. I think this game really comes down to, can the Eagles establish the run on first down? Because that's what we love to do. I don't see us all of a sudden spreading it out and go empty first down. Steichen's not going to do that with Hurts. I could see Andy Reid doing that. I could see all of a sudden first down, they're just looking to pass, and get us into third and short, and that's when they run. So I think this game comes down to first down, specifically how good the Chiefs do on first down.
Okay, I like it. Down and distance type of look at it.
Yeah, because Mahomes, even as good as our defense and our pass rush is, if he's in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3, he's going to pick those up. Him and Kelsey just have that backyard, like wink, wink, rope a dope. And I don't care. Kaiser White's good. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson Jr.'s good. TJ Edwards is good. But come on. Travis Kelsey one-on-one on whip routes against any of those guys with the option to go either way, and Mahomes is just going to instinctually know which way he's going to go. Like, we have to keep it to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. That's our chance.
Yeah, agreed.
And that starts on first down. If you don't win on first down, you're in trouble, and I think it comes down to first down.
All right, take us home, Diddy. Break it down, baby.
Um, the line is where it needs to be. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's a Super Bowl game. Two great teams, two head runners of the year of the year going into this game. The best teams made it. We're going to see a good Super Bowl. The advantage, obviously, I think we all feel as though the Philadelphia Eagles are the better team all around.
Yep.
Um, and there's two positions arguably that the Chiefs are better than us, and I think that's kind of where it stops. It stops at the quarterback position because you have Patrick Mahomes, who for me I think will be probably the greatest quarterback of all time.
Mm.
Um, and Travis Kelsey, who's a Hall of Famer, still active player in his league right now, and probably going to be arguably one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. Also, so between those two positions, they're the next level. The problem with that is that Jalen Hurts is sitting right there this year as far as being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year. We're talking about this year. We're talking about Dallas Goedert, who's also not that far away from that tier of Travis Kelsey this year, right? We're still saying so. So it's not a big drop off.
Mhm.
Everywhere else, we're dominating. We're dominating on the front D line. We're dominating the trenches. O line, D line's better. Yeah, you got Chris Jones. He's a fucking headache. We've had a lot of headaches all year long. And guess
Yep.
who? Guess who I will put my money on
Talk to him.
against anybody? And that's our veteran O line. That's Lane Johnson against anybody. So Chris Jones will be who he's going to be, but I think we'll be able to hold that down. Um, we're better on the receiver side against their DBs. We got 2,000-yard receivers. Um, we protect that with our run game, which I think we have the better run game also. Three running backs that can move the ball, get plus yardage on every carry. And then our fourth running back slash quarterback in Jalen Hurts, which I think people don't really understand. Our run game is only successful because the way Jalen Hurts plays the game. As you can see against the 49ers, how confused the 49ers linebackers were on who they had to be accountable for. We were able to use the counter route, the off tackle on the opposite side of the strength, and be able to get positive yardage on with Miles Sanders. The key to this year and why Miles Sanders had such a great year, not saying he's not a good running back because he really is a good running back, is because of the impact of Jalen Hurts. So with that being said, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will have a lot of problems stopping our offense. That's why I do love your bet with the Philadelphia Eagles over 26, Nate. I also love that bet of both teams getting in the 20s because I feel as though
Yeah.
Magic
See if I
Magic
can-
Mahomes Magic Mahomes going to be to put the ball in the end zone, and it's going to get to a point where third quarter, I think we're going to be leading, and KC's going to start drawing up some plays to open up the field a little bit and spread these guys out. Um, so for me, uh, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. What I would do though is put a teaser in, just a two-team teaser to protect that play a little bit, just because we're on that plus side and can get through that 7-7 line. We'll go Kansas City plus 7.5 or Kansas City plus 8, and the over 40. I guess it'll be 43, 42.5, maybe whatever that would be. So that will be my play. My play will be the Philadelphia Eagles, and then I will have a teaser with the Chiefs and the over.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like everything you said. I like everything you broke down. I'm looking for that bet, and just to just to correct you, I got it at 24.5. I got it real early when these lines started to drop out. I'm not
Okay, 24.5. Yep.
seeing the total so far. Wow, Eagles total sacks over 2.5. That's where they set the 2.5. I mean, I know the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is good, but they ain't never seen nothing like us. You know what I mean? Like this defensive line is special. And I know there's been a lot of talks of, comparing them to that '04 team, even the Super Bowl 17 team. But I mean, shit, we were 2 sacks from breaking a record that's been standing for God knows how long by the Chicago Bears at 72 sacks. Now, yes, granted, we had an extra game, but shit, 4 players over 10 sacks, never been done. It's going to be a while since you see it done again. Um, I think that, like you said earlier, I think Sharp, and I think you even said it too as well, Diddy, is that this team is coming here with a big chip on their shoulder. The disrespect is at an all-time high on our Philadelphia Eagles. Like, it's insane how much disrespect. And they're still talking.
Yeah,
The Niners are still talking.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. I just saw some with Ward coming out like, oh, wait till next year. They move me back to safety. Just wait. Man, shut up, man. Shut up. Watch the game like everybody else from the couch. That's all.
Pretty
That's
much.
the best thing you can do. Stop talking. All right. I know
So my biggest thing is, and I'm not a huge thing into the whole disrespect. Like if you're in the Super Bowl and you need extra motivation, especially from a team you beat last week or 2 weeks ago, it is what it is. I don't worry about that. But what I do think is very important and gives this Eagles team just that extra half tick of motivation is like this is Steichen's last run with the team. I think this is Gannon's last run. Like this is it.
I think Gannon will be here.
I don't. I think he's going to get the Indy job. I think that's why they're waiting. I think in Steichen's.
I think Steichen's going. Oh, you think he's going to take Gannon?
I think Steichen gets the Arizona job, and I think Jonathan Gannon gets the Indy job, and we lose both of our coordinators at the exact same time. And both teams are just waiting till after the Super Bowl to be polite.
Even though
So
Gannon said that he wasn't.
And I think Sirianni knows that, and so this is like a sense of urgency within the coaching staff. And I also think Fletcher Cox has a sense of urgency, Brandon Graham has a sense of urgency, and Travis Kelce has a sense of urgency. And that's just going to trickle down like to the young players. And I just think that's going to ultimately, I think Shane Steichen's going to empty the tank, and we're going to win.
Man, Sharp, we on different paths today, baby. We on different paths. I mean,
if you look at our no offense, but if you look at our past recordings this fall, when you and I were on opposite ends of the fence, it was kind of like Mike Tyson in his prime. It didn't go well for Diddy.
Hold on.
The tape don't lie. Well, hey, go back to Kansas versus Texas.
Started talking.
Let's run it back. Cause I know there was many conversations I had to hit Nate up like, yo, wasn't Sharp all over one of his teams? Something crazy, and it was down by 40 or something. It was. You not back. You was at the game. You was at the
Tulsa.
game. You saw with your eyes.
Tulsa.
Yeah. I remember that. Let's not. We ain't gotta go too far through the archives. But this is what I will say. About this game. Let's not get off track.
Yeah.
Motivation is an extra bonus when you come down to these games like this. That's why I'm saying you're wrong here, Sharp. I'm saying that when you feel disrespected, like you don't belong, this is the reason why we won a Super Bowl in 2018. Why we wore the dog hat all year, all through the playoffs, because we were being disrespected. And this is what's happening right now. Jalen Hurts has been disrespected all year in, year out. The cap of that was last night. The team sees that. They're all like, get the fuck out of here. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree because they're favorites in the spread. They're favorites in the game.
We're not. The line is out.
They were favorites versus the Giants. They were favorites versus the Niners. They were favorites versus the Chiefs. Like in 2018 Super Bowl run, they were underdogs in every single game at home. Underdogs at home versus the Falcons. Underdogs at home versus the Vikings. That's why they got pissed. They were underdogs at home.
Yeah, but
this is a different bunch.
This is what I'm telling you.
To Diddy's points, though, we're still not getting the respect of being the best team.
Yeah, but I don't. So who got disrespected? Jalen Hurts did not deserve to win MVP. Patrick Mahomes did.
Yeah, and we understand that.
Hassan Reddick did not deserve to be Defensive Player of the Year.
C Sharp. He got one vote for number one. One.
Okay, but I don't get into individual awards.
But that's you. That's what I'm telling you. I don't think you understand that. And that's what I'm telling you. If I was in the locker room, I know we're in the Super Bowl. What I saw last night, I am pissed off. Because all the work that we put in, and this is how we're being betrayed, how nobody wants to give us no credit, but they want to say, oh, well, the Eagles are the better team, they'll win. But nobody wants to give us credit for how good we were this year. Jalen Hurts is 15-1 this season.
I mean, they're favorites. They're favorites against Patrick Mahomes,
and we're favorites. This is what I'm telling you.
So that's a lot of respect.
Backhand compliments. That's what I'm saying. If I'm in the locker room, it's the backhand compliments. It's the excuses like San Fran. Oh, it would have been a better game. oh, they would have done this. It's those things that you're looking at and it's like,
If
huh?
he had Purdy,
And
we
you,
would have won.
correct. And you can see
Right.
the conversation from
I haven't.
CJ Garner Johnson when he's telling dudes like, shut up, get your face met off the dirt. If you were doing more, you would
Well,
have been here. That's
he
what I'm
likes to
telling
chirp
you.
though.
But what I'm telling you, it's here. So
But yeah,
I mean, I know I
it's
don't.
still, they're still talking about it in
It's
locker
here.
room.
It's here. It's conversation that we're having that will build motivation. I've been there, so that's what I'm just letting you know.
So if I think the only motivation that would have been bulletin board material that I've seen so far is when Fletcher Cox said the 2017 team would dog walk this team. If I'm on this team, that's the only thing where a dude that was on both teams that's a Hall of Famer said, oh crap, his previous Super Bowl team would whip our team. That would piss me off way more than whatever some national media guy said. And so I think what Cox said about his own team, I think that was a way to piss his own guys off more so than anything that media guys or, oh my gosh, Nick Sirianni didn't win Coach of the Year when halfway through the season we know he had no chance of winning Coach of the Year. Jalen Hurts isn't going to win MVP as soon as he got injured. We all knew that. So why are we getting mad now? And I don't. No one on the Eagles should be upset about any individual award. If they want to be upset about it, go win Super Bowl MVP.
I understand what you're saying, Sharp. I'm with Didi on this one because I've been in a football locker room, so I understand what that kind of psyche is and what small little things can trigger you when you hear things chirping out there. But I agree with your point in terms of it's a team game, always will be a team game. Individual awards, you shouldn't be out here individually. The goal is to win the Super Bowl, not win NFL MVP, not win Coach of the Year. It's to win the Super Bowl. So I absolutely, unequivocally understand what you're saying. I think, but what Diddy's saying from the motivation standpoint, like we were the best team in the NFL when kickoff started, and we were the best team when the regular season ended. And not to have not one Eagle across the board, like I said, from the water boy all the way up to Lori, not get any recognition of what we're.
Well, they did. Roseman won. Howie Roseman won General Manager of the Year, Front Office Executive of the Year. That's huge.
That wasn't the PA football one, right? That was something else, right? That was
no, but that's because the players don't vote on that. That's voted on by GMs and owners and other executives. But Howie Roseman won that, and he won it unanimously. So that was a pretty big nod to the Eagles.
I hear what you're saying, Sharp, but I think from a locker room standpoint, because I understand what some things like from a football player, what switches people a little bit. Yes, it's jargon, outside noise, but it's still enough out here from social media, especially where they are right now from a social media standpoint. I think it's just a tad little bit different. So let's move on to the next best bets.
I just want to add one last thing. I think this is why it gets. Last thing, this team has been super, super humble in their own way versus that 2017 team. I remember every time we score on, we going down taking picture clip. We started that. We started that whole running down to the end zone defense scores. We go down, take a picture. We were the team that started that. I think the Carolina Panthers had one moment at the end of the game when they all had a group little photo. We had a lot of cockiness. So I understand that 2017 year where people just didn't like us. We was underdogs, like you said, going into those home games, X, Y, and Z. The speech from Jason Kelsey, no one likes us. He wore that the suit. This year, I feel as though, man, why are we being backhanded as a fan? So as a fan and as an ex-player, not a player in the NFL level, but an ex-player at a high level, I can feel that disrespect that we ready. Like, wait till this ball drop. We ready to go. If I'm a coach, if I'm Sirianni, as excited as he gets on the sidelines, that's why I think he's getting the ball first. He wants to let people know that we're here and we're going to play and we're here to score. We have the best offense. We respect that guy on the other side. I respect Andy Reid on the other side, but we're ready to play. Let's make it happen.
See, I think you do that more. You send a statement by giving the ball to Patrick Mahomes, especially if you win the coin toss. There is no bigger swing and dick move a head coach could. Listen, please let me finish. There's no bigger. There's no. I'm just telling you. Okay, that might happen, but then
that's not what might happen because this is what you said, Sharp. You said you think Kansas City's going to score first, so you give them the ball, they go down and score. Now
and then Philadelphia comes right back and scores 7 and takes the lead.
Right. So if I'm a coach right?
Because
I want the
he's got
ball
total
to set the
confidence.
tempo. I want the ball to set the tempo. I don't want to give the other team to set a tempo because now I'm chasing. You said
So
that.
I look at it. So I look at it differently. Like I look at it as you could almost end the game on the first series
Oh,
if
yeah.
if you take that just from a mental perspective. If you're Nick
What's the weather
Sirianni, you got
down
to
there?
understand.
It's Tulsa, Sharp.
No, you gotta understand what I'm saying because Nick Sirianni is a super emotional person, and this
That's
is
why he went the
Jonathan.
ball first.
And
That's what
this
I'm
is
telling you.
Jonathan. No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. He's got total. So, like, Shane Steichen's going to go to Nick Sirianni and say, I'm going to score 7 on Spags the first drive. Like, just put it in your mind. I'm scoring 7. Our offense is scoring 7. I've got the perfect scripted drive. I've been waiting 2 weeks. We're scoring 7. He's just going to go to Gannon and say, hold him to 3. And Nick Sirianni is going to look at Gannon and say, can you hold this team to 3 in the first series? And Gannon's going to say, yeah. And so Nick's going to say, all right, I want the ball second half.
Okay.
That's like a conversation that happens. You guys have been the players. I've been in like coaches and executive meeting, and that's how coaches talk.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully it'll plan out. But what I will say is that I believe in my defense. I believe my front 7, and I believe if we score first, we can set a tone and completely change this whole game around by getting a stop on defense if we score first. Now if we don't
I know, but
score,
think
if they score
of how
first,
different
that's gonna change
it is.
everything.
Think of how different it is if you give them the ball first, then you stop them. Like imagine if you give them the ball, they've had 2 weeks and it's 3 and out.
I
You
don't
know
wanna
what
imagine. I don't want
you
to
know how
imagine.
deflating.
I know my offensive coordinator said he can score on his first drive. I know
Yeah,
that we
so
can score on
I
the first
already
drive.
have that in my
Give me
back
7.
pocket as
Give
the
me
second
7
drive.
first, and we're gonna handle everything else after that because my defense is tough. I'm going up 7-0. I don't want to have an opportunity to go down 7-0. Give me 7-0 and let's rock out.
So
Now, I
you and
play
I are a
Madden.
little
You always
different.
take off.
So you've played. So you know it's more likely that an offensive player is going to flinch and draw like a pre-snap penalty than it is a defensive player is going to do something stupid because not paying attention because of the nerves. Nerves favor offensive players being more nervous than defensive players. You don't have to play football to know
I
that.
don't know who's gonna be nervous here.
I'm just saying you don't have to play football. I'm just saying
Jalen Hurts been here.
offensive is choreography.
Lane Johnson's a champion.
I'm not worried about any of that. I'm not worried about any of that.
Right.
Half the Chiefs players are young. So I'm more talking about like I think the Chiefs, like I could see multiple pre-snap penalties that first drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like nervous, like boom, MVS, flinch, first down, bam, now it's 1st and 15. Like boom, holding penalty.
Yeah, I can see that offensive line going, but I think we can segue this part into like what we're going to talk about first, our prop bets, and then X factors, because I think now you guys are starting to get into those the scenarios, and those scenarios I think fall under X factors.
Money Pot's best prop bets.
What you guys think right now as the best prop bet for me, because it's such a glaring, obvious that we have an advantage against their defense, against their secondary with our offensive weapons. So for me, I'm a big AJ Brown fan. This game, he's been quiet. Last 2 games, really not utilized. Obviously, game flow dictated that. We saw a little bit of upset that he had on the first Giants game, and then the second game against San Fran, we just steamrolled over him, and there was no reason to pass. But Jalen hit miss Brown on a couple ones where Brown would have had, some statistical numbers, touchdown, probably close to 100 yards. So I like AJ Brown in this game. I think he gets 100 yards. So I'm going a little bit on the kind of how can I say kind of plus money side, or going or reaching here is I got AJ Brown 100 yards, about 2-1.
Yeah, good bet.
I'm hoping that's a comfortable 100 yards, not a 100 yards because we needed it. So
yeah,
I think this game we need every inch we get, boys. I think this is going to be just one of those hang on to the seat of your pants.
And then once we talk about your prop bets, if you have any more prop bets that you want to drop, we'll talk about those X factors, and we'll talk about why some of these bets kind of play into these, the X factors and stuff that we're kind of thinking about. So, Diddy, I'll go with you, man. You got anything in terms of your best player prop or a prop that you're going to be putting some money down? I
Yeah,
feel like I know what you're going to go with because
I don't-
you've been getting at me about this guy every time you can.
You would think
yeah.
Diddy's a Chiefs fan right now, honestly. You'd almost think as much fights he putting up, you would think Diddy's a Chiefs fan right now.
What everything I said is that with the Eagles.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I hope that I'm not confusing anybody. Everything I said was toward the Eagles. I didn't say it was going to be a close game. I didn't say that at all. You said it was going to be a close game. You said that we were going to be down in the third quarter. I didn't say that. I said we're going to be up. All I say is that we're both going to score
You
20.
got me going with that Mike Tyson line. You said this was
You said
got him out of there in round 1 or 2. So
right. That's what I'm saying. So one of
Go
my
ahead,
one of my prop plays I like here is going to go to Kenneth Gainwell over rushing.
okay,
I
19
like
and
it
a
over
half.
19 and a half. I think that's an
Yep.
easy one there. Obviously, it's showing that in the juice of the line of minus 120. Most likely probably be over that.
Mhm.
I
That's
think
my
it's
favorite bet too, by the way. So that was going to be
Yeah.
mine. That's what we're in unity there. I'll get into why right after you.
Perfect. No, that's our first agreement today. So that's a
Maybe
good
of the
thing.
year.
That's the start. Not of the year. We had many agreements.
I'm just kidding.
But I think this one is going to be just a little bit. For some reason, I'm a little bit nervous about it, but the number's just too short. I gotta have it. I think he'll have his opportunities. I think by the time he's getting there, that D line will be broken down. I don't think people really understand how good our offensive line is when we're running the football. We
Mhm.
have arguably one of the best centers to ever play in the NFL. Jason Kelsey is just phenomenal in how he controls and orchestrates that offensive line and controls it. And you get that feedback from the rest of the guys, how much they appreciate him and all the work that he do. And I think by the time this game is over, with that RPO, Gainwell's gonna be to come in there and get an easy 20. Easy.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you. Go ahead, Shark.
So my biggest reason why, and it's simply this is 100% tape review, had nothing to do with game flow. So I love Chris Jones, heck of a player. The dude does one thing in the run game. He jumps backside. So what he does basically, he uses a single arm, stiff arm. He never lines up like right over the center. So Kelsey's never going to have to worry about that. He's probably going to line up on Isaac because Isaac has the shortest arms of all of our offensive linemen. Chris Jones has the longest arms of all their defensive linemen. And he loves this single arm, stiff arm. And then he jumps to the backside and like almost tries to catch running backs in shotgun, like kind of waiting out, reading the edge, and he like catches him in the backside. Well, I think the Eagles are going to know that. And I think they're going to trap him, meaning they're going to let him try to do that to Isaac on purpose. And then Kelsey's just going to be the designated pinch, and they're going to wash him out. And Gainwell's going to jump. And he is so good at jump cuts right behind that. I think Gainwell could have a monster game, like as in the X factor why we win. I think they are going to target how Chris Jones attacks the run game and use his aggressiveness against him, and they're going to trap block him all game long.
Nice little breakdown there because me and Diddy played defensive line, so I have an understanding of what you're talking about.
He shoots backside. He never he doesn't try to dislodge the guy and vertically displace the guard back. He basically just single arm jabs and then tries to basically by single arm and putting his body out there, veering the running back from taking that gap, and then he shoots to the backside and meets the running back there. Well, if the running back just holds up, and then presses as he shoots, he vacates the A gap.
So against us in shotgun, that gives him time to do that. If he was under gun, I'm not sure if the trap would happen too fast for him to get hit. And then you would do an inside trap with Dickerson coming across. It wouldn't be Kelsey cleaning him out. It would be probably Dickerson cleaning them out, and you would hit it.
Yeah, you're right. And then Kelsey would get to the next level on a reach block.
Yeah,
you're
Kelsey
right.
would get to the next level right away because he's uncovered. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting, but I think any of our running backs have that first gear and that first step to get up field fast. So I think whoever has the hot hand is going is going to do.
But Sanders doesn't have that natural patience to
Well, Kenny's
Gainwell does.
Kenny's got better vision. He's just got to
Yeah, so that's why I think Sanders, I could see like almost stuttering himself and screwing that up by not being patient enough.
Yeah. So I think both of you are right. I do like the over 19.5. I think Kenny Gainwell is getting a lot
Can you
of
scroll down a little bit? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said
yeah.
rush to 20. I never seen that before. Rush to 20 yards. Is that down? Keep going right there.
Yeah.
Yards. Yep.
First 1 to 20.
That's interesting. And they're all on the plus side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough. It's a tough call. Because I mean, this could be a 20-yard run right here. Right?
And that's what I'm talking about. Like one of these plays where Gainwell sees it right, like you said, they trap it correctly. You're right. Dickerson comes over, seals it, and then Kelsey gets out to maybe Nick Bolton and scrapes him out. All of a sudden, Gainwell's like one-on-one with a safety or maybe one-on-one with Willie Gay. And we've seen Gainwell make guys miss. So I could see Gainwell or Sanders early in the game, just having a big, big run.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then I mean, I think Sherman's going to be there. So does this come out of, Trey come out of there somewhere? I mean, I don't think so. They got a nice 3-headed monster, and then you include Hurts in that.
He's got fumbling issues. I don't think Sherman touches the ball.
Yeah, you're probably right. He hasn't really touched the ball all year. So, but I know Gainwell is getting a lot of play, a lot of prop bets. So that's the only reason why I'm just kind of staying away. But his attempts are only 4.5, and I just don't see that. Like he's going to get the ball at least 6 to 8 times rush.
I would.
So I was looking
totally
at
agree.
if I can find it again. It was rushing attempts.
Yeah, he's 4.5. Same thing.
Like that's so
minus 125 on the juice. Like they're there. It's not like we're the only ones seeing that we think Gainwell has a scheme advantage in this kind of run game.
Yeah. So it's just I think that's just just weird to me. It's just kind of.
I like Sanders too. I think Sanders is going to go over. I don't know about the 13.5 receptions or carries, but I love his yards. I think he busts a couple big ones too.
Yeah. See, I think he's right. This is right. This is about right. Anywhere from 10 to maybe 14 and 15. But it's just counting how the game flow goes. Are we going to go up there and really just rush on this team where the obvious, and I'm getting into my X factor with A.J. Brown, where the obvious weakness is passing. The obvious weakness of this Kansas City Chiefs team is the back end. I just saw somebody just text me. They're still sick. I think Willie Snead is still limited in practice. I think somebody else come back. They have 2 rookie corners. So, I mean, this is going to be tough sledding for them to slow them down. A.J. Brown with these slants, easy getting, 10, 15, 17 yards, slant up and go. A lot of these are going to be there. They just got to hit on them. And Hurts has got to deliver the ball.
That's why don't you expect Spags to bring a ton of zone pressure?
Well, that was one thing.
I don't think he'll play man pressure because I don't think he'd want to go man to man with Smith. I don't think we'll see cover 0 pressure, but I think we could see a ton of zone pressure.
You'll see a ton of zone. Hurts is ranked 32nd against zone pressures.
There you go.
So I think I saw that and I was like, wow, really? And that's what the Giants tried to do. They tried to play zone, but it allowed the Eagles to just run all over them. So it's, with this team and this offense, this team can beat you any way it wants. Okay, you want to play that zone? All right, well, you got a little bit less on the box. We got a hat on a hat. We'll run the ball. And you can't cover the quarterback. You got to take a guy out of the box to make sure the quarterback doesn't have the ball. And we all know that Hurts can run. So for me, I think the X factor is Jalen Hurts versus his secondary, and A.J. Brown. And I think A.J. Brown, he's due. Like, these dudes are boys. These dudes are brothers. Jalen Hurts was at A.J. Brown's draft party. Like, these guys go back. You know how long they've been talking about this moment? And and don't get it wrong, I love Devontae Smith. He's a star. He's going to be a star. I said it earlier in this year that I think Devontae was going to have a better year than AJ because I just think his talent is just that good. But there's something about a brothership and a connection that goes off the field between Jalen and AJ Brown that I think Jalen's going to look to Brown more often than he has all year round and say, I'm going with my guy. And that's why I think A.J. Brown is going to have a big day come Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's two teams that I know Andy Reid and the defensive coordinator is probably looking at 2 games. It's going to be the Detroit game. It's going to be the Colts game. And I think they're going to take a little bit of piece of both. I think that's where we were the most vulnerable. Yeah, I know the Washington team was able to do what they needed to do, but they don't have the run game to be able to kind of control offense like that. So I think those are the two defenses there. It's like you said, those zone blitzes. They were putting a lot of pressure up the middle. Kind of caught Kelsey off guard and the O-line off guard. I know that was early in the season, first game of the season, a lot of rust. But then the Colts too, we had some issues moving the ball, getting first downs. Obviously, we ended up getting that score at the end of the year. End of the game, but we were having some trouble. So I think those are the 2 tapes that they're going to be looking at a lot, seeing how they can kind of pick and pull and then trying to go with that strategy. If that was me, if I was a decoy.
Yeah, I agree, because when you look at Spags on tape, kind of how he simulates, as I kind of spoke about Chris Jones, he doesn't line up ever over the tackle. And, as a nose tackle shade, zero tech. So how they kind of simulate pressure and put centers under pressure is they show that double mug A-gap blitz. And, so Kelsey's going to have to read that. I anticipate that. They're not going to let just Kelsey all day either scrape block or reach block or combo block. They're going to put 2 linebackers up over his face. And probably more often than not, one's coming, if not both are coming, because we know that's going to isolate Isaac, right? We just talked about Isaac probably going to need some help. Well, if you do that, and then you put your defensive end in the wide 9 alignment, Lane's kind of got to be out there on his own. That kind of leaves Isaac one-on-one, right? In my opinion, if I'm looking at Spagnuolo, that's how I would do it. I want Chris Jones one-on-one with Isaac Seumalo as often as possible, because I think that's our best chance to disrupt the Eagles' offense. Is that how you guys kind of see it?
Yeah, I would think your best player on our weakest player would make sense. So, I completely agree. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Next is our best. Now we're starting to get in some of the long shots, y'all. So, take these with not a grain of salt. These are our best bet. We're talking about 40-1, 35-1. And I think the first one on the docket, I have all the X factors, our best bets, et cetera, et cetera.
MoneyPot's best MVP bets.
Thinking about MVP here. I'm trying to find the odds on here. There's so many bets. So many bets you can make. I'm trying to find it somewhere. But once I get it up, Sharp, I'll switch it back to you. What are we looking at from an MVP standpoint? Who do you like? Obviously, I think the 2 obvious are Mahomes and Jalen. They're both plus 130, if I'm not mistaken, right now. But if you had to put money on it, and if you do put money on it, I know you said you're already kind of good in terms of where you are betting.
Yeah, I'll do some plus money sprinkles. I do like that Gainwell over 19.5 as a negative. One more little quick good bet on the plus side. I do love Brand. He's a big game specialist. I love how they use him inside on a 5-man front. I think Brandon Graham gets a sack, and he's currently at over 0.75 at plus 195. So almost 2-1 Brandon Graham to get a sack. I love that. Just so real quick, and then I'll give you so MVP.
Trying to find
your MVP. Go to awards.
Well, I didn't see awards. That's what I'm saying. Oops, I didn't see. Oh, here we go. It was back more. All right, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. This is just a guy. I kind of think, going with my game theory. I think Devontae Smith has a big game. I think he's kind of going to be sleepy for a while, and then I think he hits him for a game-winning 70-plus yarder. That's just one of those plays we remember in Super Bowl history. And I think it's just going to go with his legacy. I think Jalen Hurts was pulled in a national championship game. I think this will be like his kind of overcoming that. And if you remember in that game, who was the guy that Tua Tagovailoa slung it to in the corner? It was freaking Devontae Smith as a true freshman. And then what did he do in the national championship game as a senior? He baptized my Ohio State Buckeyes for like 2 1/4 and 3 touchdowns. I just think he's a big game guy. I know everyone likes A.J. Brown, and I love A.J. Brown, and I don't think Devontae Smith would be Devontae Smith without Jack back or Swole Batman next to him. But I just think Devontae Smith MVP, and he's at plus 3,000. I just love Devontae Smith.
He ain't lying, did he? Smith shows up big in these games.
I'm gonna say I just haven't seen a 70-yarder from all year. So I mean, if he's going to
This
have
is
it tonight,
it. This is it.
He shows up big, and he came out and said it. He's like, I was made for these games. This is I was made for these games.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it. Don, I believe it was Von Miller, the last player to win MVP. All right, Diddy. Looking at the odds, we got one vote for Devontae Smith. Where you going, brother?
I mean, I think the Eagles win the games. I think Jalen Hurts scores a touchdown. I got to go Jalen there. I'm going to put money on Jalen to be the MVP. But if I'm going to go long money and put sprinkle a little something on something big, I'm going to go Hassan Reddick. I think who has been hotter than Hassan Reddick these last few weeks? I think that goes back to what Don was saying was the last defensive MVP. I think Reddick can have a ball game. And I think if I'm going to put my money on that long odds, I will put a half a unit on just Hassan to possibly, and it's a gamble, to have 2.5 sacks probably himself in this game. It won't be nothing new.
So do you think, a question for both of you guys, obviously, playing, especially defense, if you're Andy Reid, obviously Hassan Reddick can wreck the game. I mean, do you anticipate them trying to spread the Eagles out, or do you think it's, hey, let's do a little bit of condensed 12 personnel, maybe even 13 personnel, and designate a tight end to, hey, you're not running a route. Your job is to crack Hassan Reddick before he can get upfield, and then just do a little button hook. Because they've got 3 tight ends, and if you actually look and they use it at fullback, like Andy Reid is kind of San Francisco, yes, in that he uses multiple formations and not your typical 11 personnel spread you out. I could see Reddick having designated tight ends help.
Like who? You said like who?
San Francisco, and that they roll with multiple formations, multiple guys in the backfield, multiple tight ends, multiple running backs. They use a bunch of 22, 12, 13.
Guess what, Sharp? Hassan seen that already.
Okay.
You saw what he did. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think my thing is I don't think Andy Reid's going to get too cute and be like, oh, I'm going to run the play away from Hassan Reddick, so I'm just going to let my tight end solo block him. No, I think Andy Reid's like, hey, Wiley, you're blocking him all game, and guess what? Number 3 tight end, Belldozer, Blake Bell, former quarterback from OU. Guess what? Your only job is to chip block him all game. I could see Reddick having a tough game just from that.
I think that's why our D-line is so hard to game plan against, because they all can go get it. And I think just so happens that Hassan Reddick, with his ability, he's able to benefit from those, the entrenches, double teams, his speed, his ability. I think is just fine. If Andy Reid wants to just focus on Hassan Reddick, well, guess who else is going to come around?
I agree with you there. I would love for them to do that. Agreed. That's where Brandon Graham would be one-on-one with a freaking slow-footed guard.
Right. But
if you can't tell me he can't run around Trey Smith, he can run around Trey Smith.
I just think, once again, another disrespected player in this NFL, which you don't seem to agree with, but I think Hassan Reddick is a defensive player of the year, definitely a candidate. Should have came in first or second. And I think he's going to show that, and I think he has a chip on his shoulder too.
He does.
I mean, it goes back to motivation. It goes back to these small things that's happening of not being recognized for the work that you put in. You're talking about this guy has been on 2 separate different teams, 3 straight years, double-digit sacks, and we're just talking about Hassan Reddick. He's going back to Arizona, the team that drafted him. Man, you telling me he ain't going to be ready to play?
Oh, I think he'll be ready to play. I'm just saying, I think that Kansas City is going to be ready for him to be ready to play, and their number 1 game plan on offense is going to be Hassan Reddick is not beating us. All right. So I think they'll dare everyone else to do their job and see if anyone else. I think they'll literally dare Josh Sweat to go one-on-one with Orlando Brown, 0 help all game long, and see if Josh Sweat can get 2 or 3 sacks.
That'd be wrong. That'd be wrong to do.
Well, I just know they're not going to let Hassan Reddick go one-on-one. They're definitely not letting that happen.
Yeah,
they will not do what San Francisco did.
All right. For me, I was going back and forth. I do think that Mahomes throws a pick. possibly pick six at that as well. But I'm sticking what I was talking about before with my best player prop, and I'm sticking with this connection with Hurts and Brown. I'm going to go AJ Brown. I think he gets into TO territory. 8, 9 catches, 125, 130 yards, and a touch. I think that is a very likely and a very possible game. I do like that Devontae Smith makes a lot of sense. But again, that just connection between Hurts and Brown just makes too much sense for me. So I would be going to A.J. Brown for my Super Bowl MVP. I do want to sprinkle a little bit of Gardner on here. I do like C.J. Gardner here as well. He's loud, but with Maddox coming back and allowing him to roam around, 4 interceptions and 2 Super Bowls by Mahomes. So he's going to give up that chicken. He's going to throw it in tight windows, and he's going to take chances. So I think that's prime
Wow.
time for Gardner in this secondary to get a pickle here, get a pick.
How hard is that to have? Like that, the whole game plan would have to completely change, Moss Money, for that to happen. Of what we're talking about,
What are you talking about?
for C.J. Gardner to actually get that MVP. Like you would have to say this game's going to be a tight. It's going to probably be a tight, low scoring game.
Like,
You would have to get at least 2 touchdowns, possibly a touchdown or a fumble. You would have to do a lot in this game to get MVP.
I think how Chauncey Gardner-Johnson would win MVP is this game goes to overtime. The Chiefs get the ball first. He picks it off for 6, walks the game off. Like that would be how
That's almost impossible.
Didn't that defensive back for the Patriots win it by picking the last playoff against Seattle? Didn't that
Brady got it, but
Brady got it. He gave it to him.
Oh, did he?
Gave him the
Okay.
call.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hard for a D-back. They would have to have multiple turnovers, probably even a score, and be a game-changing score or stop.
I mean, if he walks off the Super Bowl in overtime with the new rules, that's probably you probably win MVP.
To me, his path is out of all the stars on this defense, he's going to have the best game. Meaning, he's got to take care of Kelsey. It's going to be a group of them, but I would think his main thing is going to be Kelsey. So if he keeps Kelsey in control, he gets a pick, maybe has 6 or 7 tackles, and just be a force on the defensive side. And if we do our normal run the ball, nobody really does anything. Like Sanders has 60 yards but 2 touchdowns. Jalen has 215 yards and maybe 1 rushing and 1 throwing. I think you can make a big argument for
this game will have to. This game will have to be like a 13-7 game or 13-3 game.
So I don't think it's gonna be
It's the only way. It's the only way I see a cornerback being able to.
I mean, it's 200 to 1. So
it's a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot for him. 20,000 to 1.
Like
it's a lot for it to happen.
1. So I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, that's a tough way.
Yeah, I'm thinking like what's $10? $2,000? It was at $2,000.
Yeah.
$10 is $2,000. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would save that. I would say that 10 though. Get a Happy Meal at McDonald's.
All right.
Oh gosh.
We're almost finishing up here. We got a couple more, one more segment of bets, and then we're gonna get us all out of here. I think this is one of the fun things to do when it comes to these games, and you see these kind of almost like lottery ticket, scratchy tickets. Like, how the fuck did these motherfuckers get this shit? And that's score predictions, right? Hitting the score exactly, and winning, and then not even just putting like a little bit of money on it. They putting like over $100, $200, $300 on this play and walking away with like 40, 50 grand. So I know Sharp, Diddy, it might take you a little bit to kind of figure out where you might be. Sharp, start us off. I know you already had a score out that you guys kind of went back and forth again about it. So give me your score prediction, and I'm going to see if you can find it.
I love 20. My score prediction is 29-23, and there's a couple ways to get it done. We've talked about it. I think in my mind, I just see a Devontae Smith late minute score to win. Eagles down 23-22, end up winning 29-23. Or it could go, there's a bet I like, a couple bets will go over. Or I could see this game being 23-23 and go to overtime. And I could see the Eagles walking it off and not needing the extra point and just flat winning 29-23. Like Chiefs get the ball first, don't score, Eagles score, game over.
I don't know what is.
So that's how Diddy was saying, how do you get to 29? I don't know. For whatever reason, I either see Eagles down 6 or Eagles down 1, score 7, or tie game, walk it off with 6. And because of that, there's a couple bets I like. It 10-1 for the game to go to overtime. I love a little sprinkle there. You could put a little half unit on or something, $20. You could do a quarter unit, however you want to put it down. A little 10-1 bet. I love that. I think the game could easily go to overtime. Another combination bet I like is it's a DK special. You almost got to go all the way to the very end. I've only seen DraftKings offer it. And it is –
there it is, correct score.
Yeah, 29-23. You got that?
You said 29-23?
29-23 Eagles.
Is it even up here?
Probably not.
I don't think it's up there.
That combination will be on there.
It'll be $1,000,000.
Did you find it up here?
I haven't looked at it yet. No, that was just my prediction. I haven't bet it. It'll be on there. I guarantee every combination's on there.
Oh, man. We're going deep for this one. But go ahead.
That's what you want. So, hey, this is a DK special. You got to go all the way to the top bar, all the way to the far right. This is a 3-way bet, essentially. All 3 things need to happen to win. It's Eagles money line, Jalen Hurts over 225 passing, Devontae Smith over 60 receiving, pays 320.
That ain't bad.
What's the second one of that leg, Sharp?
Hurts over 225 passing. So you guys seem to like A.J. Brown. I like Devontae Smith big day. If you kind of think Sprinkle and Goddard over 225 passing. I mean, if you think Hurts is going to have a good game, I think those are 3 things that could happen, and that pays out plus 320. What did 29-23 pay out?
80-1.
80,000 million to 1.
So here's the thing: 80-1, and you could double hit with that 10-1 overtime if it happens to be that 23-23 walk off 29-23. So that could be a double dip.
Sharp, you're gonna be a billionaire after this.
Hey, if it happens like this, then I will. That Mike Tyson comment.
I will.
If it's 29-20,
I will never have a debate with you ever again. Believe that.
All right, fair.
All right, you got something, or you want me to go? I got mine.
Yeah, I'm keep it simple, man. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it gets over that 50 and a half number. I like 31-27 or 31-30. I like that. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be right on that line. 31-27, 31-30. Eagles.
I'll find it. I found mine. I'm going 30-20. In the games that KC's lost this year, they haven't scored over 20 points. So I'm going to go with that trend and kind of keep that going. That's 7, a little bit right there where Sharp is, 70-1. And
it's so hard to get that 30. Some of them numbers are so hard to get.
Yeah, well,
30 is hard to get.
I know we haven't used Elliott with kicking as much, but I think we might need him 1 or 2 times in this game. They might just want to keep putting points on the board. I actually think it's going to be close in terms of the total with that 50.5, 51.
Right.
I'm not so sure if it's going to be, kind of blown over, because remember in the beginning of the playoffs, we did our predictions for the Super Bowl. You both had Buffalo and Cincy, and I had the Eagles and the Chiefs, but I had them winning 37-30 Eagles.
At the time I had San Francisco Chiefs because I wasn't sure on Lane Johnson's injury, and then he played, and I was like, oh crap, he's good, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you both had San Fran, my bad. So so I'm trying to I want to stick with that, but I feel that so many people are betting the over. I feel like the under right there at that number is going to be a good bet. What was your number again?
31-27.
31-27. It's got to be here, right? It's got every combination. Got to be here. There's 30. There's the bet I had 37, 31, I think, on my prediction. 31-27. That seems like a number.
There it is.
31-27. Damn, wow, we're not even close to the top. 80 to 1, 70 to 1. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. All right, let's finish it off, y'all. Got one more betting segment, and then
I mean, that's mainly because the line is shaped at 50 and a half. So when we're going, 10, 8, 9 points over that, there's going to, obviously be more juice.
Man, they're not even offering a prop on my boy Cam Jurgens. I should call DraftKings and be like, dude, put a Cam Jurgens anytime touchdown prop
yeah,
up.
I don't know what Sharp is talking about.
Cam Jurgens.
Yeah. Hey, I've got inside. Listen, I'm just telling you right now, I've got inside information. In the red zone, Eagles been practicing using Cam Jurgens as an extra tight end. That's all I'm going to say.
Usually that happens in those Super Bowls. You have one crazy.
That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
So maybe a tight end, maybe a blocking tight end and 12 personnel slips out.
Yeah.
I mean, my man can run.
There's a
This
bet
the only
out
game.
there.
Oh, sorry.
No, there is a bet. I think we talked about it before you jumped on. There's a bet out there. I think for an offensive lineman, or not, or I think it's offensive lineman to either throw or score a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm looking at the first couple books. I can't find it. I'm going to keep scouring.
I gotta find it, but I think there's a bet like that out there.
There's a prop bet of how many players will throw
the
football.
Because I love that bet. Because Andy Reid is someone that could use a stinking lineman to catch a touchdown too. Both these coaches could easily do that.
Yeah, I feel Sirianni might do it a little bit more just because the last time we were here, there was a Philly special. So he wants to put his stamp on it,
Yeah.
right? Too. So I do see that. I'm just trying to find
I could see freaking Jurgens in there at fullback too. Like I'm telling you, a little birdie told me they had sets where Cam Jurgens and Jason Kelce were on the field together. That's all I know.
Yeah, I could see Kelce being a fullback, but
yeah,
Kelce probably going to be like, nah, man, I ain't trying to fuck this shit up. Put me where I belong.
Yeah, let me lead block.
Yeah, where I'm going is the Hall of Fame. That's all I
let the rookie fumble it if anyone's going to fumble, not me.
Right. All right, I think this kind of ties into the last segment here.
Money Pot's best long shot bets.
So long shot bets are always fun to do, adds really a lot of excitement to the game. These are kind of long shots, which we kind of do from a score prediction standpoint. Obviously, we're talking about a non offensive skill set player scoring is another long shot bet as well. Anything else you guys got in terms of weird different bets out here? Like here's a bet for combined jersey numbers that score touchdowns. You can bet on everything. I think Gatorade bets are out there. What's another bet? Coin toss. We'll talk about that in a little bit before we get out of here as well. But anything else that you guys like, a kicker to hit the upright post plus 450. Any long shot bets that seem to always happen in a Super Bowl that you guys seen, saw, talked about. Here it is right here. Any offensive lineman to score one receiving touchdown. There it is. Plus 30.
Oh, you did. Oh, there you go. I was looking at. Okay, you're on the Super Bowl specials thing.
Yeah, these are the specials.
Okay.
That's good value. Dude.
Yeah. I do like. I'm gonna lock that bet, and I like that bet for. Like I said, both these teams do exotic things. I can see that happening in this game.
Sharp, can you imagine that play happens, gets called, he's wide open, he drops it?
Oh God. Could you imagine if that's the winning score to be 29-23 and he drops it?
Oh,
I won't watch football again.
He's jumping off the roof.
After watching the Phillies lose by a kid from Philadelphia catching it at the wall in Citizens Bank Park, and then watching the Buckeyes hook it left versus Georgia as time's expiring, I couldn't deal with something. That's being nice. I couldn't deal with the heart. I can't deal with heartbreak for the Eagles. I'm telling you, I need this win right now. I cannot deal with another bad
Talk
loss.
You ain't
about
the
hook
only
and
one,
talk
brother.
about left. That was more than a hook and more left. So Nate, there's a play I've now always played for the Super Bowl because the moment I thought about the play, I did not put it in and in a hit. And that is the first score to be a safety.
Mm.
And
Wow.
the one time it happened,
It was at the Denver game,
it was the Denver game.
The Denver
The
Seattle game. I was
first,
playing poker in that, and I was like, wow.
and every year we go down. Me and my buddy, we used to go down a list of things that we should do. And I seen this. It was like some crazy number. I said, "Man, I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna put this in." And little did I know, I woke up at like 4:35 or something
Game
like that
started.
before, and the game didn't start, but they took the props off the board. It was like a certain time they take the props off the board, and I was like, "Damn!" But I wasn't upset until I seen that safety happen. So I always just put something on that just because you never know. Fumble can drop, anything can happen. And
Yeah.
then also you want to look at maybe a special team score. Might be a good value there. There's been some special team scores, kick return, punt returns. Um, some type of special teams plays a big factor in Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Speaking, you were just on the one I was about to talk about. Do you see what's new this year is they're using that GPS to do the fastest ball carrier. So whatever player clocks the fastest in-game speed wins that bet. Doesn't even have to be like, I mean, obviously you have to have the ball in your hands. So it'll be like, it's just, that'll be cool. It'll be fun to see at the end of the game which GPS, whatever that company is. It's fastest ball carrier.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Ooh,
It's right
Pacheco,
there.
you gotta go Pacheco.
Nah,
Put Pacheco on there.
Sky.
I'm going with
No.
Devontae, baby. He's gonna clock like 20 on that bomb that wins the game.
Sky.
No, give me Pacheco.
Give me Sky because he does like punt returns and kick returns, so he's going to get ahead of steam. He's going to get.
So is at any point of the game, or has it be a carry?
Any point of the game with you, if you have the ball in your hands, like they have that GPS in their jerseys and helmets, whoever registers the fastest speed.
So who's going to get? The question is who's going to get a breakaway? Is what it is.
Pretty much.
Pacheco. The way he runs super hard.
He just runs hard though. He doesn't like. I know he's got speed. I think he ran a 4.3, so I'm not taking anything away from him. But you don't see Pacheco breaking long runs.
No,
you just don't.
Yeah, but you just said fastest at any point, right?
Yeah.
Within 10 yards, he's not.
Okay.
He's not a sprinter like that.
Well, he's number one on that list with the lowest odds for a reason.
Or Quez makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
He's one of the fastest. He can fly.
Yeah, Quez. Damn, he said Darius Slay. Yeah, right. Who else is down here? Covey is down here. Wow. Yeah, I would think I like Quez. Obviously, Marquez.
My man, they've got no respect for James Bradbury. They got him below Grant Calcaterra. That is some disrespect.
Yeah, facts. All right, fellas. I think we went through the whole mill. We ran up. We got a lot of good bets there. So for those who joined us, chopped in, came out, had to
add another one of these.
What's up?
Gotta add another one of these in a minute.
Yeah. By next show, and I'll talk about another show coming, but by next show, you will be talking to the podcast of the two-time world champions, Philadelphia Eagles, right? We got another show coming on, leading Sharp and a couple of his boys will be jumping on, talking draft shit, talking draft. So we'll keep the football talk going. I'm going to attempt to bet XFL. I'm going to attempt it and see what that looks like. I know they start, I believe their kickoff is the 18th. We'll look at some games and see if we can drop some gems on the FXL. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Football is going to be a full-time round. I think, was it USFL is out there too, right?
Yep.
That's starting up. I forget when.
Draft props are already out on DraftKings for who goes first. You can pick the exact order 1 through 5, 1 through 3. Draft. There's a lot of ways to bet the draft now too. It's not just betting on football.
Yeah, and we'll keep it betting, right? We'll sway and talk about what's going on in the draft and things like that, and breaking down drafts. But we'll always keep a betting sense of it in there. So I think that's it, fellas. Anything else before we get out of here about the game, about the Super Bowl? Real quick,
Yeah,
food out.
Moss. We at your house for the Super Bowl. What's up? I'm just inviting myself.
I'll talk about it with you after this.
Yeah.
So brand new to Tulsa. I know this doesn't mean anything to you guys, but brand new to Tulsa like this week is Yingling hasn't ever been distributed in Oklahoma as long as I've been out here. And Yingling is on tap. And so like every bar's doing special. So my favorite bar is doing half price wings and dollar Yingling drafts all game.
Oh, you gonna
Is that because of the Phillies?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
No, it's just because Yingling's new to the market and they're just doing like a Super Bowl thing. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Chiefs fans there, but I'll try to keep it. Me too. I'll try to keep it sober. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas. As always, thank you for joining. That's B Diddy. That's C Sharp. And once again, I am Moss Money. We are Money Pot. Good luck in betting this weekend. I know there's some UFC stuff betting. Me and Renzo be on every day about basketball. So you'll catch us next week after the games. We'll keep everything coming. Like I said, like, follow, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a motherfucking friend because it does great things for us. The show is growing unbelievably. We're adding more shows. So let's go. Money Pot Podcast, Moss Money. Go Birds!
Grease the poles, baby.
Pause.